Hello, everyone. I'm Vincent White. I'm an employment attorney, and today we're starting a new little mini series on this channel called Tales of Greed. I know, not a fun name, right? As an employment attorney, we always want to get our clients, plaintiffs, victims, victims of workplace sexual harassment, victims of workplace discrimination. We want to get them as much as we possibly can. That's always the goal, right? We can never make up for what's been done to our clients, but we can get them paid. And that would be a small step in making them whole, right? But there often comes a time when you have to tell a client, listen, given the facts of your case, given the evidence we have here, I think this offers the most we can get for you. I think we got you X amount of dollars, and given the ammunition we have, that is a good deal. That is a great result for you. And that is never an easy thing for a client to hear, right? But 99% of clients are really smart about that. They look at the situation and they say, that makes sense. Thank you for your help. Thank you for expertise and your opinion. I think I'll take the deal. Or they might come to you and say, listen, I hear you. I understand. I know that even if I go to trial, I might not win this much, but it's important for me to have my day in court, and I understand that I'm walking away from the money, right? And that's their choice. We're never going to second guess a client who says, I don't care about the money, I need my day in court. That's the client's right. But the clients, sometimes might say, well, you're wrong. I don't want to go to court. I can't possibly risk trying this case, but I'm pretty sure I can get, $10 million in my case. So, I don't care about your opinion. I want more money. That's a tough situation. That happens, and there's people who do that, and it's just you sit there and you wonder, what about the fact pattern? What about the evidence in play? What about the personalities in play is getting us to this really bad decision? So I thought I would start collecting some stories about situations like that, so that future victims and future plaintiffs could kind of learn from the decisions people who have gone before them made. And it might be helpful because, the average plaintiff might only bring one case in their lifetime. They might only experience sexual harassment or discrimination in the workplace bad enough to bring a case. I mean, I feel like especially women experience sexual harassment every day. But they might only bring one case. And so they don't have a wealth of experience in terms of employment litigation to draw on. And that makes decision-making harder. So I wanted to provide some anecdotes from people who've gone before, completely scrubbed of any identifying characteristics, anything that could lead you to believe that you could ever identify who these people are or who the defendant is. All of that's scrubbed from these. And, some of these cases are famous cases. Some of these cases are cases that other attorneys have shared with us. Some of them are our cases, and I think it's just important to learn from all of these because it's situations where people have made questionable decisions that had very lasting negative consequences for them. And it's easy to say, that won't be me, but you actually have to think about it, right? It could be you. Juries are unpredictable. Defendants are unpredictable. You don't know what offer will be there tomorrow always, and you need to make sure that you're doing what's right for you. Not what's right for the attorneys, not what's right for the press or what's right for public opinion, but what is right for you as an individual, as a victim, as somebody who's experienced a horrible thing. We need to think about you. So on that somewhat depressing note, I wanted to share this first story. And we call this story the Retiree Led Astray. So I will be looking at notes as I talk here because, it's quite a bit, and I want to make sure I get the story right so it can be as useful to people as it could hopefully possibly be. In the Retiree Led Astray, a gentleman, a client, had attorneys, and he had claims, discrimination claims, against a failing business, right? This business was on hard economic times. It was at some risk of going under, or even if it didn't go under, just not having really the money to pay him anymore. Now, the attorney representing these clients managed to arrange a multi-million-dollar settlement. It was deeply impressive, through a mixture of finesse and aggression. They basically scared this defendant. They scared this company, this employer, into paying millions of dollars they could barely scrape together to get rid of this claim. That's impressive. Hats off to that team, certainly. And it actually ended up being probably more than the claimant, the plaintiff, could even hope to win at trial. Right? It was head and shoulders more than the case could really be worth, in attorneys' opinions. So everything's going great. The client's thrilled. The client's going to get millions of dollars all the way through the case, over and over and over again. The client says, I need this money for my retirement. This is all I have to live on. I need this settlement. I'll never earn again for the rest of my life. I need this money. This will determine how the remainder of my life goes. And that did appear to be true, right? And that's why the client was so happy when, this multi-million-dollar settlement, millions upon millions of dollars, was arranged. And the client accepted and had the attorneys go and, write the settlement agreement up, and the defendant signed, and then they sent the paperwork to the client to sign. And unbeknownst to the attorneys representing the plaintiff, their client was talking to another employment attorney, perhaps a less scrupulous employment attorney. And the client shared, hey, I'm going to get millions of dollars. It's going to be amazing for me. It's so great. And this attorney, sensing a payday, perhaps, we can't know what lives in that attorney's mind, but somewhat questionably went to the clients and said, listen, I know that you're winning more than you could likely win at trial. This settlement is better than you can probably hope to win. But if you hire me, if you give me a percentage, I bet you I can do even better for you. Now, this attorney knew better. This attorney knew, apparently, according to the client, that the defendant was on hard times. The defendant might not be able to pay if this thing went to trial, right? But that attorney didn't care. That attorney just figured, if I get this client to hire me, maybe I can just take that original settlement and get a big payday with no work in, that type of thing. And, through kind of these promises and this nonsense, that attorney was able to talk the retiree into running away from his settlement, to breaking the settlement agreement and not signing and not taking his millions of dollars. And boy, everybody, the judge, attorneys, even defense counsel, all warned the retiree, listen, this could end settlement negotiations. This could be the end of settlement in this case, and we'll just try this case. And the retiree, I guess just because of greed, wouldn't listen, and went with that strange incoming attorney who thought he could do better. And then, he hired that incoming attorney, and that attorney kind of bumbled a few procedural issues right out of the gate. He annoyed defense counsel, who was from a very big, very, very successful and famous defense firm, one of the most expensive firms in the world. And he couldn't even really handle the simplest issues on the case. And eventually defense counsel just said, you know what? I don't think we need to settle with you anymore. I don't want to renegotiate the deal. In fact, I don't want to pay you on the old deal anymore. We're just not afraid of you anymore. This new attorney doesn't seem to have his act together. So we're going to go ahead and just try the case because we think, listen, one, we don't believe you can beat us anymore. And two, even if you beat us, we don't think you're going to win as much as we offered you in settlement. So we've advised our client, forget this guy, enough already. Let's go forward. Let's fight it to the end. Unfortunately, that retiree still not received a single dollar on that case. And I'm not sure that he ever will. And that makes me deeply sad, because that was his life. That was what he had to live on. I hope he'll still have Social Security, certainly, but how will he pay for his home? How will he, I don't know if he has grandkids, but how will he, send presents to his grandkids? How will he shop for food? It's a really tragic thing, and a combination of a bad attorney and greed basically led this retiree astray, led this person to throw it all away, to gamble everything, and basically just dismantle the rest of his life. And it's a really sad thing, because he was wrong. He did have a claim. He should have gotten paid. Makes me sad. And that's unfortunately the kind of stories we're going to be sharing in this series, because I do think clients need a reality check. Sometimes it's easy for firms to pump out stories about great wins and big settlements, and that's important. I think that people need to hear that, because more people need to fight their employers when they're wronged. But I think you have to balance that, right? There has to be stories about it just didn't go our way, and this client didn't get paid, and that can happen. Happens to every single firm. Nobody can win all the time. And cases it's not magic, cases, there's generally known around where they should be valued in settlement. And you do have to at least hear your attorney out on that. It's important. You have to make informed decisions. I'm not saying you have to take your attorney's word as gospel, because different minds, different opinions. You can't take someone's opinion and just say, oh, that's 100% correct. But you do have to value it a little bit, right? Oh, you're saying you run a couple hundred cases a year as a firm, and that 7 attorneys in your firm think my case is worth about X amount of dollars, and my settlement is pretty close to that. Oh, I should hear that, and I should consider that. That's meaningful. That's something that you need to take into consideration. And that's what I hope these stories convey. See you next time.